Alright guys, welcome back for another video, and in today's video I will be discussing identifying high probability trading conditions, and it will be a trade breakdown on EURCAD utilizing a market maker buy model as always. So before we get into the video, I kind of want to clear up some FUD in the prop firm space. If you guys are looking for a prop firm to use or trade, I would always recommend utilizing prop firm match, because this is how I've been finding my prop firms to trade as of recently, given the fact that we have had, for at least US clients, I haven't been able to trade on MetaTrader, but this actually helps my way to find new prop firms that are trustworthy to use. If I simply go about my process and I pick my 200K account, my two-step, and then I click United States, where I'm from, I hit search, it gives me the full list of prop firms that I can choose to trade from. And the best part about it is the reviews. If I click on any one of these prop firms, it will give me a full-blown trustworthy review of someone that has passed a funded account and also have received payout. So moving forward, if I ever have any sort of interest into expanding my horizon to allocate more funds from prop firm capital, I would always use prop firm match to search for a new company. If you are interested, I'll leave a link to this website in the description of this video. So in our previous videos before in the past, we already discussed EURCAD and GBPCAD on our higher time frame draw and liquidity, and we also utilized Euro Pound and as well as CAD futures. Now the draw still stood for me and my Discord. We were looking at a bearish draw on liquidity, as we did before, from the internal to external range move. But if you look on the daily chart, you can see here that price was retracing back into equilibrium of this daily dealing range. And you could see just at Friday, getting into the new week Monday, we had a small inside daily candle inside of Friday's daily body, and we were anticipating strength out of euro compared to the pound to push us back into premium of the range before we could actually drop lower. So if I'm anticipating price to be bullish on EG, that's going to give me the inclination that EURCAD will also be bullish. And you can see that this was the daily candle that we delivered on EG. So we had more strength out of euro compared to the pound. Now if we look at our CAD futures, we also discussed this in a previous video. We had a bearish draw on liquidity for CAD. We are looking at the weekly internal range to external range draw on liquidity. Now, if we're going to be bearish on CAD futures and also bullish on euro, that is going to give a low resistance liquidity run move on EURCAD. Now, to start off the week in my new Discord, the Roundtable, with the collaboration with Day Trading Ralph and Nick Does Futures, me and Ralph covered EURCAD and GBPCAD. You could see my annotations in the bottom right. I was already looking for the EURCAD weekly internal range liquidity to external range draw, and we had all of this SMT divergence inside of this internal range liquidity pool. So we had the draw up to higher prices already listed, and Ralph gave his annotations too on the daily chart for more confluence, with a daily bullish order block to support price to move higher, and he was monitoring this to go to the equal high draw external range liquidity pool. So we both saw the SMT divergence, we saw the bullishness out of euro pound, and the bearishness out of CAD futures. So this was our top watch on the radar for this week in the group. Now, as always, I like to do blank charts. I have EURCAD on the right and I have GBPCAD on the left. Now mark off your annotations before I mark off mine for you guys. Like I showed before, we had our SMT divergence at our correlated lows inside of this internal range liquidity pool, and we had a swing high draw within that range as an external range liquidity pool for a first draw on liquidity before the relative equal high draw that we were talking about before in weeks prior. Now looking at the daily chart that Ralph was also labeling off here, you could see this was the down close candle that we were utilizing as support for a reference to move to that external range high draw, which is correlated to these resting highs here. And you can already see the strength out of EURCAD compared to the strength out of GBPCAD. The lag behind was caused because of the strength out of euro pound. So with that strength out of euro pound, my eyes will be drawn to a prioritized long position out of EURCAD. So we had that weekly and now daily key level to pay attention to as a reference point to move to those higher prices. Now going from our daily chart to our 1 hour, from what Ralph sent in the group, we had relative lows that were the cracking correlation creating our SMT on GBP-CAD compared to EURCAD. And you could already see the lethargic price movement that I would definitely not want to be inclined to be in a position here compared to the energetic price move that we had on EURCAD. This is the daily bullish order block, and you could see the higher low that was created on EC compared to GC. And that last down close candle before we took out liquidity, we moved up and traded back down into it, and price pushed up higher, which was our first inclination to be like, okay, this could be a potential for me to then execute long on EURCAD. Now, if we go from our weekly to our 4 hour chart, this is something that you could also just annotate your charts to see if you match what I have on my next slide. From my 4 hour view, you could see right now that on EURCAD, we had this last up close candle before price swept liquidity and then broke structure after closing above, confirming the breaker block. And we had that daily bullish order block that was also supporting price as well. So I'm stacking higher time frame key levels and the SMT divergence. So price, if you look even closer here, this is the last down close candle before sweeping this low here. So that was my first area of interest once we closed above it. So I labeled that as a change in state of delivery since we had SMT, a 4 hour breaker, and a daily bullish order block while GBP-CAD was making a lower low. And we had our bullish euro pound. So I was like, this is definitely a safe point for me to give my first initial entry to go long to those external range targets. And you can clearly see that after price was giving us our entry, that was during our Asia session, which is when we both executed our position, we had a smooth, low resistance liquidity run to our external range liquidity pool target. And in this first high draw, this was my 80% of my position taken off the table, and then I left 20% of the position as a runner to the higher priced draw liquidity. My stop loss was placed at that long-term low that created the SMT divergence, and then my take profit was just resting there at an easy, in total, 2.75% net return on that position. Now, if you look closely here, this is Ralph's chart that he had annotated. He had an SMT divergence with GBP-CAD. This is that order block that he used as the reference point to that relative high draw, which is very short and simple. These are our labeled executions that were all shared with our group beforehand, before we even had our annotations and analysis marked off. We walk through this process, our analysis, and how we're going about the delivery with our executions step by step with our group. And so far within the first week, we have just been delivering nonstop, and this will just continue until the market legitimately stops working. But if you are interested in joining the group, I will leave a link in the description of this video. But genuinely, I hope you guys enjoyed. This was just a continuation based off of our previous analysis on EURCAD and GBP-CAD, and we finally have reached those drawn liquidities that we've been expecting for quite some time. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your trading week, but I will catch you guys again next week in the next upload.